All right. Hello, everyone. We are here for episode 2 for the 25-26 season of the Director's Table. And I am joined by the one and only Jeb. Hello. How
Hello.
are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Athena. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I'm so excited to
Yeah,
have you on board to kind of let us know about yourself. So, first, I guess
exactly.
big question. Yeah, first
Yeah,
big question to jump into. What state do you represent? What do you do at the ACL? Your club name, a little bit of information about that.
sure. Yeah. So I represent the state of Iowa. I am the Iowa State Director. My club name is Aced Cornhole, and that is, very prominent in my life. My middle name is Ace. It's a family name of mine, and so that's where that comes from. And so I kind of wanted to incorporate that into what I was doing as a cornhole director. So I created that league probably 4 years ago, I believe it was. Yeah. So yeah, started in cornhole, with buddies at the bar. They got me into a league, and I started playing with a friend, and then they said they were going to a tournament across 2 states, and I was like, okay, let's go. We went and had a great time that weekend, and it was the first ACL tournament that I was at, and that's where I kind of got the spark for the ACL then. And 4 years later, here we are. So
Oh my God, that is a great story. So are you saying that kind of sparked your interest into becoming a director? Were you more playing first and then, decided to be a director?
no, I think like right away, I wanted to be a director. So I always wanted to be a leader, and I've been a leader in most roles of my life. And so we just naturally wanted to lead tournaments and lead people to have good times playing cornhole. So that's really that first tournament in the Black Hills kind of inspired me to do that with, Tyler Earls was the director of that tournament, and he kind of took me in as a regional director under the conference format that year. And 2022 was the start of my directorship with the ACL, and kind of been there ever since. But yeah, I've that's really that first tournament really sparked my desire to do all of it. So yeah.
That's so wonderful. That's super exciting. Now, with
Yeah.
that, what would you say? I guess running tournaments and on the director side, do you have a favorite memory? Is there something that just kind of stands out that you'll never ever forget, whether it was good, bad, or in between?
Yeah, I think kind of three different story, well, two stories and just one general theme. But the most important thing I think is just the family and the friends and the good times that we have at the tournaments. I'll just never forget any of those good times. I might forget the individual specific ones, but I will always know that every tournament I ran for the ACL was a lot of fun. And that's the number one memory that I'll always carry through. So, um, and, a couple more specific memories that I have really kind of involve some pro players. The very first regional that I ran in November of 2022, Ryan Wiedenfeld was there. And he kind of was just starting out as a young pro, young kid, and he just did not stop throwing all day long. And I'm sure you guys know and see that too. He just throws constantly all day long. Trick shots, it was so much fun watching that kid and his just love for throwing the bags in the hole. So I knew that he was going to be very special from that moment in early 2022 season. So that's a very strong memory in my mind. And then last year I ran an interstate tournament in Sioux City, Iowa, and I had several pros, several players that were elite players, and a couple ex pros. So it was in total we ended up doing a pro-am tournament, and we had 6 teams. So yeah, the guys helped me coordinate this pro-am tournament, and we put that on as kind of just a little fundraiser on Sunday in between a couple of the brackets. And it was a great time. And, we did raffled off the spots for the to play with the pro. And yeah, we just ran a little blind draw quick, and it was a blast. So that's definitely a memory that I'll have with me for a long time. Ethan Walker was a big part of that, and Landon Crabtree and Riker Wells. And yeah, several other pros, and Jackie Saison. Yeah. So yeah, it was just a lot of fun. So yeah, it was probably the second highlight of my career so far. So yeah, and those memories are just all part of the general good times that we've had and that I've seen, and just playing music and having fun, putting the bag in the hole. That's what it's all about.
Yes, 100%. And I think even having all the names that you named off, I mean, those are, to this day, just some of the, best faces out there, even for pros, they're always willing to, answer questions. I would say probably every single person you listed, I've seen off on the side helping other players out. Helping each other out. Of course, like they play, some of the side games. They all play, I think, that phase game. And I still, to this day, I'm like, I don't understand. I don't know what you guys are doing, but it's so good. And they bring so much fun and energy. Every single one of those players have just always been so great. And, I love that you even named, Jackie. She's always been someone who comes up and says, hey, how are you guys doing? Do you need anything? Is there, anything going on? So I love hearing Jackie's name all the time as well. And of course, everybody else, but Jackie does hold a special love for me.
She's been a long-term player too. She's been to that first regional too, and several other events in my area. So she's been around a lot. She's a great player.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So would you say, with a lot of the changes and updates that we made this season, I know it was a crazy season with tons of things that we initially, had adjusted last year. And, our team really made sure that we talked to a lot of directors, received a lot of information, players, and things like that. Do you feel that going into our new model with the new ability to become a pro at the state level, do you think that has that created any buzz in your area, any excitement, any apprehension, anything like that?
Yeah, I think more buzz than anything. A little bit of, angst, I guess, with all the change and everything that's been going on over the last few years, especially, so there's been a little bit of talk about that, but overall it's a real good buzz and I'm extremely excited about it. So, I really hope that we kind of stick with this format again. It kind of takes it back to where it was when I first started and really kind of got into directing at a more local level. There were, more kind of local pros and stuff that were out there. So, I really think it's the way to go, and, really reinvesting in the local players who go out to a lot of tournaments in the areas that, may not have a lot of pros out there. And so now there's opportunities for them to become pros and go out and travel and compete if they want to. And so making all of those lower level tournaments more important as well as far as points go is just going to help, grow the ACL and stretch and, breadth across the nation. So I really think it's the right direction, and I hope that it sticks around for a while. So
that's great. No, definitely. I think that's going to be a big part of it. And I feel like, everyone as a whole, the amount of feedback that we received, especially from, directors, they said, okay, this is exactly what we needed. This is what we've been asking for. And, I think, time and time again, especially with, anything, and even if you're running stuff locally or statewide or anything like that, you try some things and then they work or they don't, but, you never know until you try. So I think that's one of the biggest things that the ACL really does a great job at, is trying things that maybe might not work, but being able to learn from that and just say, okay, you know what, this didn't work very well. Let's take a step back and, get a lot of feedback, which is, I'm excited to kind of see a little bit more input from, everyone, from the players end, the directors end, and everything like that. Now so for a brand new director who is potentially watching this and maybe someone who's considering being a director, do you have any advice that you would give to someone who is just starting out, brand new?
I guess be ready to give up some time and take a little bit of abuse at first. Players are all types, players are all types of people play cornhole. And so there's times when people get upset and don't like the way you run things or the way you've done something or a decision that you made, or They get upset with each other, and you have to deal with that at tournaments. And so just be ready for, some excitement and some long hours, and sometimes not very much praise. So you got to do this for the love of the game. As a director, you have to love the game, or you won't last very long, quite honestly. So that's really what it's about, loving the game and trying to spread it as far as possible with the best tools you have available. That's where I'm at in my directorship. And I think, if you're looking to start out as a new director, and that's where your goals should be as well, trying to spread the game as best you can with what tools you've got. And really, you have to just be ready to take some punches along the way. So
Yeah, no, definitely that is incredible advice. I would say 100%. I love that you also threw in tools, same thing as, years have gone on, and, thankfully, directors who've been in it for a long time, like yourself, and so many others who have been a huge part of it. We've been able to create such a bank and bucket of tools. So any director who's new, we do have our director guide that has a ton of information. We're updating and adding as much as possible. We have a director resource center that we dumped a little over 60 resources in this past year. So we really made sure that everything was there. We have a brand new digital director kit that is actually going to be sent to all directors this coming week. This might be the first time you're hearing about it.
I would say that's the first time I heard. Yeah.
So breaking news here. Just kidding.
I love it. I love it.
Watches that they probably will already have it at this point.
Right.
But yeah, definitely. And, we also have, the director engagement program. So that is another way for us to just give back to the directors. It's a, run events to earn points just for that. So as players play to earn player engagement points, directors can also do the same. We have jerseys, tons of jerseys went out this past season. A couple sets of boards went out to directors as well. So we have some pretty cool, neat things. And it's just a way to, really give back. And also with the player engagement program, that helps us also help some directors who maybe don't have anything at their state level quite yet, or maybe their regional level. So if you're a player and you're just playing all the time, you might not be winning all the time, but you're active, participating in your community. This is another way for players to also earn some pretty cool prizes. We are going to have a town hall. It is a members only town hall where we will be drawing players and directors for a set of bags and t-shirts. Last year we did the drawings, but they weren't really shown as much, or no one could really find them as well. So we are going to add them to the town halls, which we're super excited for. And those will probably happen towards the end of the month. So we're excited to bring those out. Now with everything with, being a director, running tournaments, doing everything that you do you typically look out for, sponsors? Do you currently have any returning with you? Have you had anyone who's really helped you along the way so far?
Yeah, for sure. Some of the initial people that really got me into the game, Mark Kruger with Triple Crown Cornhole, Stan Wissink with Wissink Creative. Those are a couple of guys that I consider Cornhole family. And they have been with me from day one and helped me along the way, all the way. So right now, currently, they're still, a part of my journey, helping me and advising me. We talk and meet regularly. My restaurant Dreamers in Rock Rapids, Iowa is a sponsor of ours. And then BG Cornhole right now too is doing some really cool things for me as a state director, and with some co-branding stuff and things like that. Just kind of entered into a relationship as well with Caddy Sack Cornhole, Stephen Barnhart, and what he's kind of doing for clubs there for helping out with some branding things. And just a lot of cool stuff going on to help directors really streamline certain aspects of what they need to do to be really successful. So it's awesome to have some partners like those guys right now that are helping me along the way for sure. So
that's really, really good to hear. And I love that it's a partnership, and everyone that we've had the opportunity to speak with across the board. You can probably go to any director and say, hey, who are some folks that, help you or who are, providing stuff for you. And the number one thing is, oh yeah, well, my partner is, and that's exactly what it is. And that's with, everyone, I think, directors together and everything like that. Now, for your state, you have your director pool, your player pool. Is there anything that you all do state specific that maybe is fun, unique, or anything different that you guys might be doing, or even potentially the same, but
well, I like to try to do double regionals. So that's a thing that I do as often as I can to try to save players travel expenses for mostly is what the reason is. But so like my first regionals this year, October 31st, November 1st, that Halloween weekend coming up. So we're doing a double regional that weekend. And so that's something that we try to do in Iowa to help save costs for players on travel and everything. And so, that's, I think, something unique that I do in particular. So I don't know if anybody else does that or not, but I look for those weekends that have end last day of the month on Friday, first day of the month on Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday, whatever, to try to do double regionals on those weekends. So I think that's a good tip too for trying to save players travel or whatever too. So
that's a great tip. I think that's the first that I've heard, someone say that they're doing that. That's actually, it's very smart. That's a really, really good one.
I've done it for 2 or 3 years in a row now. So yeah, it works out pretty well. The players seem to like it. Actually, that interstate weekend that I talked about was a double regional and an interstate all in one weekend. It was crazy.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
That is so incredible.
It was fun. Yeah. I try to do as much as I can in a weekend so that it's exciting and fun for the players. So
that's perfect.
Wow.
Now, is there anything during those weekends that you add as like an extra? I know you said music. Is it, typically your own music? Is there a DJ? Do you guys have photo ops? Anything that you do at the event for an experience as well?
I run music, and then I try to have some vendors there and do raffles and things like that. We have air cannon, cannon shots, airmail cannon shots that we do, cylinders, once in a while we'll raffle off prizes or boards. Our VG rep here in Iowa is fantastic, Todd Hoying as well. And so he's come and partnered with me at a couple events and put his bags out there for sale and done raffles on VG boards and things too. So yeah, we do a lot of fun, cool stuff besides just play cornhole. So yep. Photo ops for winners especially. So yeah.
That's perfect. All right. Yeah. So for everyone that's, watching, make sure that you, get in touch with Jeb. I'm sure he's got tons of ideas, great ideas, which I'm excited for. Actually, I love that one that you just came up with. That's a great one. Now, how does, the average player find you if they're in Iowa? What's, any Facebook, socials, website? Where can they find you?
Yeah, on Facebook is the best spot. It's Aced Cornhole. And then we also have the Iowa ACL group. And so we kind of share in both of the spots all the time. So, I actually had a ticket print here at my restaurant, so I got to start getting to work as a chef here. But, so that's the spot to go to check us out, though. Aced Cornhole on Facebook or the Aced Cornhole group, and then Iowa ACL group also on Facebook. Those are the places that we're the admins for and that we kind of spread the word of what we're doing. So I've got all of our regionals are booked at venues already, except for April and June this year. So we're rocking.
Perfect. We love to hear that. Well, thank you so much for all of your time and for being able to just share all your information with us. Everyone. Sure. Thank you guys for watching, tuning in. Make sure to follow Jeb, and I hope you all have an incredible rest of your day today. Goodbye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.